There's a word that even I hear in the author world that gives me the heebie jeebies. No, it is not marketing, although I know some people feel that way about that word too. But for me, it's always been the word feedback. And I venture to say that I'm not the only one who feels this way. Actually, I know I'm not, because for many, they want to go and stick their head in the sand when that word is ever brought up. But when you write a book, you're being vulnerable, and that's likely why. You're leaving your heart on the paper, and I know this because I did it too. But let me tell you, every single author needs feedback. I know I did. It made my book stronger. And others need to hear authentic feedback about our books to determine if they want to buy them. In previous seasons of the Empowered Author podcast, I've talked about the importance of feedback on your manuscript. We're not going there today. Today, instead, we're taking a different route. Jen and I are talking about reviews. Reviews are still a form of feedback, and some authors actually never want to read them. Seriously, I've heard that. But they are a gold mine of opportunity and marketing appeal. Don't be scared of them, embrace them. One recent Wednesday during our usual LinkedIn lives that are scheduled for 11:30 a.m. Eastern, Jen Crosswhite and I unpacked reviews. What are they? Why do you need them? Where do you get them? These are questions many authors ask me, so I thought it would be a great topic to share with you today too. I am excited to invite you into this LinkedIn Live, and I also wanted to invite you to our Wednesday LinkedIn Lives called Beyond the Page at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, where Jen and I talk about questions we are asked from authors and meaningful parts of the book process that authors may not know they need to know. If you have a question, just holler. We will be sure to answer it. We love answering author questions. What can happen when a book coach and a book marketer come together for a virtual chat with a cup of caffeine? Anything. In this season, I wanted to share with you some of my favorite topics we've discussed, and today it just happens to be all about reviews. So go get your favorite coffee mug and put your favorite form of caffeine in it and join us for this meaningful chat. Let's dive in. Hey, I'm Stephanie Feger, and Empower is my middle name. Well, okay, not really. You got me, but it should be. I believe that empowered people empower people, and I'm obsessed with empowering you, the nonfiction author, with impactful marketing strategies to help you take your important message and share it with those who desperately need it, want it, and will buy it. As the owner and chief strategist of the Empower PR Group and the author of 2 books myself, I have merged my love for reading books, writing books, and marketing books to help nonfiction authors with laser-focused strategies and tactics to write books that sell, promote books to those who need and want them most, and build meaningful businesses from empowering messages. Think of this as your one-stop shop for marketing insights from an author who has been there, who has done that, and understands exactly where you are. Go get your pens ready because I am ready to empower you. This is the Empowered Author Podcast.
All right, we are live. Welcome everyone in the LinkedIn land. Is that what we call it? Should we call it LinkedIn land?
LinkedIn land. I like LinkedIn
LinkedIn
land.
land. Welcome to Beyond the Page. I'm Jennifer Crosswhite. I'm a book coach and editor, and joining me is Stephanie Fager of Empowered PR, and she helps authors get their message out to the world, which is fantastic. If you write a book, you have something you want to say and you want the world to see it. So you need Stephanie's help in
Well,
getting it
you
there.
need both of our helps because
Yes.
you want to write a book because you got a message, and Jen, you can help people make that happen and do it in a
Yes.
way that's authentic to you, but also like reader centric and is going to
Yes.
inspire and change the world. And then that's what I love about our little partnership and friendship, because you do that, and then I help them sell the book, get the book to the right people. It's so much
Yes.
fun. And I love our
It's
chats.
such a continuum, and it's
Yeah.
all the pieces are important, and most people have no idea everything that goes into writing a book and then getting it out to the world. So I love that we can help you with that. So
Yeah.
for our little coffee chat today, I've got this is my
The
you can see the
summit.
color of my lipstick on there too. Summit. So this is an orange packing label. I have a couple of these mugs that are the old classic. I live in Orange Grove country, not as many orange groves as there used to be. I literally grew up in an orange grove. We would walk home from school, lots of rotten oranges on the ground. Let me tell you, do not walk through an orange grove in flip flops because you step on the rotten oranges and then it gets in your toes and then you step in the dirt and then it's really disgusting.
Is there a
So
reason
there's
that they don't make like orange wine? Like you can't step on oranges like you can step on
well,
grapes.
let me tell you, fermented oranges do not smell good. I've had a lot of experience with fermented oranges. They don't smell good
I
at
thought you
all.
were going to say you have to wear shoes because in the rotten oranges there live snakes, and you
No,
don't want
there
to have a
do.
snake.
I mean, there are snakes, in Southern California. There's a lot of rattlesnakes, but I actually don't ever remember seeing snakes in the orange groves. Lots of gophers, though. So,
Oh. Well, so it was
yes.
funny you mentioned this. Total side note, not book related, but we have fun too. Where we live in Kentucky, there's there's like a U-Pick place that is big. Kind of, we have a lot of farm country around, and me and the kids and I were sitting down and reflecting on the summer what we're gonna do. And one of the things is we always go over to this U-Pick farm and we pick fresh fruits. And my favorite are black raspberries. If you've never had
Oh,
them,
yes. Yes. I had them in my yard in Michigan. They're the
of course
best.
you did. That's not fair. They're the best things on the planet.
They
And
are.
last year we picked apples. I'd never picked apples. We don't have
That's
orange
fun.
trees up here, but anyways, I love all that. And so the thought that
It's
you
so
could pick
fun.
that along the way, I'm kind of jealous.
Yes. Well, I still have fruit trees in my backyard. I have peaches, cherries, lemons, and oranges, of course. And the peaches are the cherries are just getting ripe. And then the peaches are starting their little round fuzzy thing. So come June, July, we'll have more peaches than we know what to do with. I only have one tree. I don't know. I still have peaches in the freezer from 2 years ago. So,
How do you keep the animals out? Do you spray?
no, we don't keep the cherries. The birds go off the cherries pretty. It's hard to get to the cherries in time before the birds do, because our trees don't produce a lot. But we have so many peaches that who cares if the birds get some of them? There's just so many.
So we planted an orchard on our farm. We've got peaches and apples and plums. Last year was the first year we got apples, and they were like itty bitty. So we had a couple apples, and then we have a blueberry patch that we've yet to really gather any produce from because the birds get to it. We've got some blackberries and we've got some raspberries, and then I have a like a garden that we turn over every year, right? But we've got a strawberry patch. And
nice.
Many of those things take a couple of years to like really
yes
get in, and so here's hoping we're close. But you sewed so your mug. Okay, I don't have a mug today, Jen. I have water. You pray for me, people. I'm doing a 6-week kind of cleanse and no caffeine, and I'm really not excited about it. I'm like 2 or 3 days in, and I had this headache last night behind my eye.
Oh yes,
that's a caffeine headache. And
yes,
I need my tea. So I'm drinking.
How do you survive? Yes, it's hard, right? It's hard to survive without the caffeine.
I know.
I will say, related to writing, that I find being outside, gardening, things like that is a really great contrast to writing. It's a nice break. It allows my thoughts to kind of process when I'm not really thinking. It's kind of like going on a walk or being in the shower or going on a drive. You're just doing something different, and you need a lot of that downtime and thinking time in the whole book creation process. So I want to say hi to Zan. I see Zan popped in. She is in Spain. Talk about someone who lives someplace amazing. Zan lives in a vineyard.
That is not
in Spain, which is fantastic. The pictures are beautiful. So
what part of Spain? I'm curious. I've been to Spain before.
She told me, and I don't know anything about Spain.
Put it in the chat. I want to know.
Jan can put it in the chat, and then we'll know where she is. But,
yeah. I've been to Madrid, and I have to. And there was other places I went when I was in high school, but I have to say, the people in Spain are some of the most hospitable, amazing humans, and I fell in love with everything about Spain, and can't wait to go back someday.
Nice. How fun. I have never been. One of these days I will get there. But yeah, I haven't.
Maybe we'll go together. It'll be like we'll do a book marketing writing retreat.
Yes. We've talked about doing a in the writing group that I have, we've talked about different places we could host writing retreats. So we've talked about Temecula in California, which is not terribly far from me. We actually have someone who is in Massachusetts as part of the Plymouth Museum, and maybe doing something there and all the history there. And then we've also talked about doing something near Zan in
That's
Spain. So that would
amazing.
be fun. So she's 35 minutes south of Barcelona. Yes, she's 10 minutes from the beach. And this is one of the things we talk about, because in the summertime, she goes to the beach every day. I am so jealous. So
I was gonna
jealous. I
say
love the
hashtag
beach.
jealous. We should put that with this
Right.
phrase. But like
Yes.
everybody has a slice of heaven. You get oranges,
Yes.
I get the
Yes.
farm, and she gets the beach. Here we
Yeah.
go.
We'll have to just visit each other to experience all of
We
that.
should do
So,
a house swap. What's that movie, The House Swap, where people swap and then they get inspiration from different places? We'll just all
oh,
switch.
interesting. There we go. Well, today we're talking about reviews, and what are they, first of all? Why do you need them, and where do you get them? So, this is a marketing piece, but as one of the things I tell people, you can never start thinking about this too early on. Really, at the beginning of your book, you want to start thinking about this process. So, but I'm going to let you talk about it, Stephanie, since this is, a lot of it is in your ballywick, and then I'll hop in with my thoughts too.
Yeah, so I think reviews, people don't always authors don't always understand the differentiators between what reviews could be. But in theory, a review is somebody who has read your book and has articulated their thoughts on that book. I like authors to be very open to the power of reviews in the beginning, because if you talk to a publisher, an editor, a book coach, they might call it something different, like, I don't know, an endorsement or a testimonial. And that is also a review, but that is a review that is built into the book, that helps be promotional elements built into the book, whether it's in the praise section in the beginning, whether it's a pull out puff quote that's maybe on the front or the back of the book. And what I love about those and why those are so important is because it helps somebody make the final decision go over the hump of determining, yeah, I'm going to buy this book, because Stephanie didn't just say the book is great, but Jen reviewed the book and Jen said the book's great too, right? So a review can be used to actually sell the physical book. Reviews can be built into your Amazon metadata, and it helps people convert and make decisions when they're evaluating that process too. Those are more endorsement type reviews. Those are things that are really built to help people make that decision that, yes, the book is worth purchasing and I'm going to do it. Then there's another part of reviews. It's something I help a lot of authors with on the side of, now the book's coming out, I need reviews. Similarly, they are also elements that will help promote the book and let people know that it's worthy of purchasing. But it also is important in the algorithm game that is played in the publishing world through Amazon, which I hate to break. I mean, I hate monopolies out there, but that is a monopoly in our world. Most people buy their books from Amazon. And if you have consistent reviews and consistent in quality and quantity on Amazon, what you're doing is you're telling Amazon, everybody else is telling Amazon, your book is worthy of being read, and it's worthy of Amazon to promote it. So Amazon's not going to go and read every book. Even their AI couldn't probably go and read every book.
Right.
But if you start seeing this influx of people commenting, and I say regularly, I mean, I like to say for authors, when the book comes out in the first 2 weeks, it's a great time to start getting people to review quickly, because that chunk can make a big difference. But you want it to also trickle and be ongoing, because that shows the sustainability of the book and the impact of the book in a long term. It also tells Amazon, hey, I didn't just have 100 of my friends write a review. This book has relevance. And they don't, and I'm going to say this, Jen, and this is so hard for authors to hear, they don't all have to be 5-star. It's okay if
this is so true. It's okay to have a 1-star review. And I'm so glad you brought this up, because I had this in my notes. Reviews help tell the reader who this book is for. And so you want to attract your ideal audience, but you want to repel people who are not going to like your book. And so a 1-star review, not only does that tell potential readers, oh, these are real reviews. This is realistic. And,
Yeah.
think about your own buying habits. When you go in and you look at the reviews, you look at the good ones, but I always look at the bad ones too. And sometimes the things people complain about don't matter to me, or I feel the opposite way. So I'm like, well, fantastic. That sounds like it's right up my alley. So,
Yep.
I'm in the romance space with my own books. And so romance, of course, is all over the spectrum, from super sweet and very chaste to super spicy, steamy hot, anywhere in between. And sometimes it's hard for readers to know what kind
Mhm.
of book they're getting, and readers can be very
Exactly.
particular about what they like. So if you're reading a review and you like the sweeter romance, and it says, oh, this was there wasn't enough kissing, or there wasn't enough steam in it, you might go, oh, perfect, that's exactly the kind of book I want. Or vice versa. So a lot of times a 1-star review can be fantastic. It's not the end of the world. It actually gives a lot of legitimacy, and it helps you. Again, with that algorithm, we really want to focus on the exact right kind of reader. We don't want Amazon showing your book to people that are not interested in reading it. We want it to go to the people who are most likely to buy your book. And so a bad review, I'd say a 1-star review, really in some ways is not necessarily a bad review. A 4-star is not a bad review. Even a 3-star, if you look at like on Goodreads, now Amazon owns Goodreads, but they have different rating systems. But a 3-star on Goodreads means I liked it. It's not a bad review at all. It means I liked it. And so a lot of people that are avid readers that review on Goodreads and Amazon, they're going to give you the same rating in both areas. They're not going to necessarily adjust it. So 3-star is not a bad either. And I think even your 2 and 1 stars, there's a lot of controversy over if authors should read the reviews, right? But I do think someone likened it to drinking rat poison. Reading your reviews is like drinking rat poison. But I do think if that is emotionally hard for you, find somebody to skim your reviews, pull out the nuggets that are fantastic. But I would say if you're getting the same comments in the reviews, this was too wordy, or it was too short, or it ended too quickly, or it dragged on. That's information that you can take back and use in your next book to make sure that you're correcting some of those issues. Hopefully you've caught those ahead of time. If you've worked with an editor or a book coach, you've hopefully caught that stuff ahead of time. But there's a lot of really good information that reviews can give you. And so I would definitely, it can be a little bit of an emotional landmine, but if you can find somebody to help you walk through that, you can get some really good information from your reviews.
And the more you read them, the thicker your skin gets. And the more that you separate yourself from, like, your heart isn't the book, right? The book is just a part of you. It is an outcome. And let's be honest, not everybody likes us. Like, not everybody likes me. Not everybody, I mean, I can't imagine everybody wouldn't like you, Jen, right? But there are people in this world, like, not everybody meshes with everybody in the same way book. So it's not a bad thing.
Very true. Yeah.
Not a bad thing. The other thing, what you just shared, I think is beautiful. Your reviews can actually be a marketing goldmine. I was recently talking with an author who has written a historical fiction book, and I'm reading the book, and we're identifying some ways on promotional elements. And he mentioned, and I was like, why didn't I think of this? This is brilliant. He said, go take a look at the 50 plus reviews, and it will help you better understand your audience, what they loved about it, maybe a pillar about your book that you could leverage and like spin off in your social media work. But the reviews can be very telling. The hiccup with the review process is, and I don't know about you, Jen, but if I love something, I am less likely to write a review than if I hated something. I don't know why.
Yes.
It's just
It's
human nature. Right? So as authors, what we want to do is we want to make sure that our reviews on Amazon and Goodreads and what have you aren't only those people who are only writing stuff that they didn't like. We want the people who love it to write it too. And here's my tip for that. Anytime that you talk about your book or anything that, and I'm going to mention a podcast too, because I like to read my podcast reviews, right? Everybody needs reviews, right? But anytime you mention your book, make sure that you let people know how important a review matters to you. Just share it.
Yeah.
share it.
Yes.
You can
Yes.
include writing a review, requesting a review at the end of your book matter. Hey, did you like the book? Write
Yes.
a review. Put it in your email signature. I don't know about you, but I
Yes.
have in my email signature my book stacks. And then
Yeah.
I could very easily write, hey, I'd love for you to purchase it. And by the way, writing a review is the best gift you can give an author.
Is so true. People don't realize that, and educating readers on that. So if
Yep.
you have, like, when you're launching, like a launch team or people
Yep.
who are out there really helping to promote your book, likely you've given them an early copy so they can leave early reviews. People
Mhm.
just don't understand the value of those. It's that social proof.
It is.
So that when you launch a book, there are already reviews on there. So people who might just learn about your book through the
Mhm.
launch, they can go on and look and go, oh, wow, 10 or 15 people have already read it. This is what they think about it. Okay,
Mhm.
that's interesting. And as you
Yep.
said, that continuing on different sites, Goodreads
Yep.
likes 300 reviews on a book. Once you start getting 300 reviews on your book on Goodreads, that starts getting promoted better. There are other advantages for reviews, as you were saying, how they help with the algorithm. But
Yep.
readers just don't understand how important it is. So if you love a book, if you love an author, go in and write reviews. Even if you read the book a long time ago, it's totally fine. Go in and leave us a review. We love it. It is really, really fantastic. And Amazon isn't the only place you can leave a review. We've
No.
mentioned Goodreads, but also BookBub,
Oh, yep.
and
You can
also
do it
all
on
the
Barnes
other
and Noble.
sites,
Yep.
Barnes and
Anywhere.
Noble, Google Play, Kobo,
Anywhere.
Apple Books. You can leave reviews everywhere. Even if you didn't buy it there, if you
Yep.
bought it, at Amazon or wherever, you can still leave reviews all those different places. And that is
Yep.
just super, super helpful. Great way to thank your author friends
It is.
for putting out books.
It is. And if you are an author and you've written a book and you're not getting reviews, my recommendation is to also make sure people know how important it is. I just said that, but I want to reiterate it's uncomfortable asking people to write a review.
Mhm.
Jen, you read my book. Do you mind writing a review? Like, you might be uncomfortable doing that. Or maybe the first time's not uncomfortable, but the second or third time could be. I want you to know this. This is truth. Everybody has great intentions. Everybody, if
Yeah.
they've read your book, they probably love you and want to support you. Life happens. When you and I, we know it takes 3 minutes to write a review and you're done. To them, it might not even be on their radar. And so they forget. So
Right.
don't feel bad about asking and asking again. The other thing that could be a hiccup in that process is if you are not in the author space, or if you don't used to making and writing reviews, you might, a reader might think, oh my gosh, I need to write like a white paper, like 100
Yes, it's not a book report.
not the book report. So, right, it's just, I always say it's an opportunity to objectively share what someone could get from the book, what you found
Mhm.
like a key takeaway on, how are you going to
Yes,
take action from the book? What did you
right.
love most, right? It's
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 just your
not
reaction. Yes,
your
how you
reaction.
felt.
And
Yep,
that can be
yep.
as short as a sentence, as long
Mhm.
as a paragraph, but don't feel
Right.
like it has to
No.
be something that is like overkill. I
Yes.
think that is a hindrance at times
Yes.
for
And
people.
Zan is asking, I think this is a really good point. Is it important to write a review as it is to give a star rating? And yes, the review actually carries more weight than a star rating, not only for people, because the star ratings just get all averaged in. So nobody really
Mhm.
sees your star.
Yep.
And it doesn't give the potential readers any feedback. So if you're able to say, this book really helped me with this particular aspect in my life, and anyone who's struggling with that issue will get great value out of this book, that those
Yeah.
keywords go into the algorithm. Human readers, not just the algorithm, but human readers will also look at that and go, oh yeah, I need help with that,
Yeah.
so that's a perfect book for that. So the
That's a
review
good
is great.
question.
Again,
It
just
is.
simple, why you liked it, how it helped you. For fiction, why is this your cup of tea? What kind of,
Mhm.
oh, I love the friends to lovers stories. I love those. I loved how they overcame this, for
Mhm.
their eternal love or whatever it is. It's romance, so it's always a happy ending,
Yes.
right?
Yes. The
But
other
or
thing,
historicals or mysteries,
right,
whatever it is,
right,
something about it that you loved. Again, not a book report. Please don't give
right,
away spoilers. Just
right.
why you liked it and who you think would like it. If you like page-turning books, or if you like a more literary or a beach read or whatever, that you're just showing people what kind of, like, just the way you would recommend it to a friend. Hey, I picked up this
Exactly.
book. It was fantastic. I think you would like it. Yeah.
Exactly. And if you are an author wanting more reviews, I would encourage you to understand what a verified purchaser is on Amazon specifically, because that also gives
Yeah.
a higher rating in the
Yeah.
algorithm world. A verified purchaser means that, and I don't know if they do this on other platforms, but I know on Amazon, if you purchase the book on Amazon and then you write the book on Amazon, Amazon knows that, it connects the dots and says, yes, you aren't somebody that was planted out there to do this. We know that you have actually, we verified that you've purchased and now you are writing a review. That has also more weight than just writing
Yeah.
just doing a 5-star rating or a 4-star rating
Yeah.
or whatever. So that
Very
is more,
true.
I think, for authors to know, because if you are working on really building your Amazon presence and all that stuff, really encouraging people to buy the book on Amazon would help with that process. But don't let that be a hindrance either.
Right.
Any
Absolutely.
review is better than none.
That's so true. That's so true. Well, we have zoomed through that as usual. The time
Good
just
chat, Jen.
flies by. It just flies by. But I wanted to quickly share with you. We always take turns sharing a great book. I'm in
What
the
you
middle
reading?
of Brene Brown's. The light is really, there it is.
Daring
Daring Greatly.
Greatly. I have not read
Yes.
any of her books.
So I read The Gift of Imperfection. I loved it. But I will tell you this, several lines here I think really apply actually to authors. Sounds interesting enough. But it says, cultivating intimacy, physical or emotional, is almost impossible when our shame triggers meet head on and create the perfect shame storm. We need to have honest, loving conversations, and those require major vulnerability. There is no intimacy without vulnerability. And of course, she's talking about relationships, but writing a book is very vulnerable. And I think a
Very.
lot of people don't realize that till they're partway in the process. And she, of course, with Daring Greatly is talking a lot about shame. But boy, I see shame come in with a lot of authors, and being afraid of what will people think of me, all these
Yep.
kinds of emotional things that you end up working through. So a lot of times we end up kind of acting as therapists as we're helping people work
Yes.
through some of this. But writing a book is a very, very vulnerable thing to do. And so it takes a lot of courage. And I think it's a fantastic thing for people to do. And so I want all the authors out there. I mean, first of all, pick up the book Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. It's a fantastic book for every human, but particularly for authors, it helps you realize you have a gift to give the world with your story, and it's worth risking that vulnerability. And yes, reviews can feel sometimes like that,
Mhm.
but ultimately the people that you are helping, it definitely outweighs that.
I had an author recently tell me that they never look at reviews. They don't want to know what people think. Are you kidding me? The only way to grow is to work through the tough stuff. I know it's hard. I don't like it either. But how can you get better without it? And my bigger question is, if you can't even be open to reading reviews, you probably aren't going to be up for asking for them. And you should. You'd be missing out if not. Reviews help sell books. They validate your thought leadership. They promote your book too. Which is why I'm going to ask you to do something nice for an author that you know today, or an author that you've recently read a book of today. The best gift that you can give an author is a review, I promise you. What book have you recently read where you could leave a meaningful review? Take 5 minutes and do so. And while you're at it, what's the best gift to give a podcast host? You guessed it, a review. Mind adding this podcast to your gift-giving list? If you'd like to learn a focused strategy I use with authors to get more reviews, let's chat. Visit empowerprgroup.com/marketing strategy session and learn more about our 1-hour strategy session offering. It's a great way to get focused and get started. All right, I am ready to empower you as you embark on making your author impact. Remember, empowered people empower people. Jen and I have had so much fun today empowering you. Now it is your turn to empower others.